Constraint-induced language therapy originates from the treatment program Constraint-induced movement therapy. The fundamentals of constraint-induced movement therapy were applied to the treatment for individuals with chronic aphasia by Pulvmuller and colleagues in 2001. There are 3 principles that are incorporated into constraint-induced language therapy. The first principle is using constraints to reduce compensatory strategies. Reducing compensatory strategies promotes the client to use language strategies that are more difficult for them instead of strategies that may be easier for them, such as writing things down, having someone else communicate for them, or using gestures. The second principle is the intensity and mass practice of this treatment with 2 to 3 hour sessions 5 days a week, averaging to about 30 hours of therapy in a 2-week period. The last element of this therapy is shaping, which is gradually increasing the difficulty of verbal tasks depending on the performance of the client. Constraint-induced language therapy models the game Go Fish, except there is a barrier that is between the clinician and the clients to prevent the cards from being seen. There are pairs of cards with drawings and/or photographs of objects and everyday situations on one side of the card. The cards can either have objects that have common names that are used in high frequency, uncommon words, or minimal pairs such as cake and bake. The task is to pick a card out of the set and request the same card with verbal phrases that can increase with difficulty as the game continues. If the other participant does not have the card that was requested, they must deny the other player since they did not have that same card in their deck. Only spoken language is allowed in the game, no gesturing or pointing is permitted. There can be constraints imposed in the game such as difficulty of the material, shaping, and the rules of the game. As the therapeutic game continues, the clinician can make the verbal responses of the client more difficult in order to challenge them and require more language from the client. Here you will see an example of constraint-induced language therapy.
Let's begin. This is your 3rd session of constraint-induced language therapy. I will review the rules of the game so we are all on the same page. Remember, there are no gestures or writing allowed in this game. Only spoken language is permitted. Also, I expect you to speak in complete sentences when you are requesting a card and answering back to me. Also, refrain from using pronouns and use my name, okay? If you don't have any questions, let's begin. Here you are going to request a card, but use the color of the object. As an example, you would say, Anicia, do you have the white shirt? I would say, yes, Danielle, here is the white shirt. Let's begin.
Anicia, do you have the green car?
Yes, Danielle, here is the green car. Danielle, do you have the red shirt? Remember, Danielle, there are no gestures allowed, only verbal language.
Yes, Anicia, here is the red shirt.
Great job! Now you're going to use quantity of objects. I want you to tell me how many of the objects are on the card you are asking for. I'll begin. Danielle, do you have 2 sons?
No, Anicia, I do not have 2 sons. Anicia, do you have socks?
How many socks?
2.
Okay, now say it in a full sentence.
Anicia, do you have 2 socks?
Yes, Danielle, here is 2 socks. Danielle, you are doing great. We are going to move on to using minimal pairs. I will model what this level will look like. Danielle, do you have the card that rhymes with bin? You would say, yes, Anicia, here is pin. If you don't have any questions, you can go first.
Okay. Anicia, do you have the card that rhymes with boy?
Yes, Danielle, here is toy. Danielle, do you have the card that rhymes with tea?
Yes, Anicia, here is key.
Great job, Danielle. Thank you for your hard work during this session. I'll see you next time.